Hi, everybody.
Oh my goodness,
We're coming up in a
welcome.
couple of minutes. Are we welcoming? Are we starting?
No, we're not starting, but we're here.
Yes, we're here.
Where are we?
We are at our beautiful friends Bruce and Tammy's house, and right by their pond. You guys might be able to hear that fountain in the background. It's awesome. She does that to me often. Anyway, Bruce and Tammy. Bruce, we think, is a 9. The number of Jesus.
I don't think you should say what their numbers are.
No, I said I think.
Okay.
And I think Tammy might be a 1. Do I look better with the shade?
He's absurd. So Bruce.
Anyway, in the middle of that is a 5. So we're going to talk about 5s.
Yeah. Hey, Sharon. So Bruce and Tammy are actually missionaries.
Easy.
For Pioneer Bible Translators, and we're here tonight for dinner.
Yeah.
And they said, why don't you guys go ahead and record by our pond? And so here we are.
It's a great gift. Kind
Right.
of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting ready for Tammy to leave for some part of Africa this time.
They've been to Tanzania and
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, some part of the world that needs the Bible translator. We just are so proud of these guys. We love them. Yeah, they're such great gifts to us.
So tonight we're going to actually be looking at STOP, the practice of STOP. The acronym is C, S, triggers, T, open, O, and presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Scott, you want to get us started?
Are we starting
I think we're ready.
Starting. I like it.
Are you all ready? Sharon, are you ready?
Yeah.
And Sharon, we won't tell what type you are, but we know you're interested in the 5.
Well, you're an amazing person, whatever it is, Sharon, we know that. I love this Aristotle quote that we have in the book that says, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all.
Beautiful.
So we want to talk about that for a little bit tonight. So, you know,
5s are not all head.
They're not.
They are IQ and they are EQ as
GQ.
the 2, the heart person, and the 8, the challenger.
But as is true for all of us, is there's this sliver of time. In Romans 7, it talks about how there's things we want to do that we don't do, and there's things that we don't do that we want to do. So with all of us, there's that very slim piece of time where we kind of have a decision to make. Am I going to do the things that are most healthy for me and for the world, or am I going to just slip into what is reactionary for me? So for the 5,
when they are stuck in their own type, they pontificate, they prognosticate, they're actually stuck in this time of thinking. And even if you would ask them how you feel, they might say, well, I think I feel.
Yeah.
Or they may even dismiss the instincts that they have as unnecessary, that they want to pontificate or prognosticate or just think about it.
Yeah, so when we talk about harmony in a 5's life, they have an EQ, a heart, emotion, right? So that's their 2 space. That is that part of them that can stay engaged. It's that part that kind of moves toward and stays engaged. And they also have that 8 space, which is that leans into their agency and their decisiveness.
They're standing up and saying no, and bringing their voice to the moment.
So when it comes to STOP, the acronym STOP, first of all, a 5 wants to pay attention to seeing, what's going on, what's happening.
What makes them want to withdraw?
Into their head.
Yeah,
which
and
is
think
a safe
about
space for a 5 to withdraw into their head. Then, so they see that, and then they pay attention
to... Well, if they see it, they'll actually begin to not only see it, but they'll bring intention to that attention.
Yes.
And say, okay, So what I see is I want to withdraw, I want to prognosticate, I want to pontificate, I want to think about it, I want to come up with, many ideas and much research. But if they're aware of their awareness, they'll stop and they'll say, oh, I see that, and I want to notice the trigger.
Yeah, so the triggers with fives are things like, people might suck me dry. It's things like I feel like my privacy is being invaded, those types of things. Those are triggers. So when you notice that as a 5, you want to pay attention to that.
And Scott, his second highest number is 5. While he's a 9, he has scored on Dr. Wagner's inventory as a high 5.
So I've told Claire that kind of a different kind of harmony with me is 9, 5.5, and 3. But really it's 9, 6, 3. But
yeah, so when Scott is actually moving away, both with that 9 and 5 energy, and wondering, do I actually have the energy in this moment?
Right.
He gets to breathe. He gets to take a moment where he can take a breath and say, okay, wait a minute. Rather than choosing to move away, rather than choosing to disconnect or detach, I can now see the triggers. I can say, okay, well, people, may feel like they're going to suck me dry. I don't know if I actually want to have them in my private space. But if I want to be fully engaged with my head and my heart, I want to open.
Yeah, there's also this emotional piece that happens with the 5 when it comes to triggers, where they feel like this is just too much emotion for me. That's a trigger. Trust me.
That's a trigger? Yeah. I love the 1 5.
I've been around enough 5s. Why are you pointing me? I really am a 9.
Yeah.
I am, but I can so relate
resonate.
To the 5s.
Sure.
I can.
Yeah, and 5s, our one friend who's a 5, last week we were driving by him in the parking lot and we had to go really quick. And we just waved, and then I sent him a text and said, I'm sorry that we went past you so quickly, and he just said, that is not a problem. In fact, he was glad that we kept going and gave him the space to do what he was doing at that moment. So the triggers might be, are these people going to suck me dry? But I may want to welcome them. So seeing that trigger, opening to the heart, saying, how can I care? How can I be present to this person emotionally and offer my love for them?
Yep, and then when it comes to the gut, when it comes to opening up to the gut, for a 5, it's what are the proper boundaries? Because for a 5, they'd like the boundaries to be kind of out of bounds, but what are the proper boundaries? Where should I be engaging? Where should I be, there are boundaries for all of us that are healthy and good.
And how can I open up with my voice?
Yep.
My own leadership, right? To say, so we had a 5 recently who was in a meeting that felt as though something was an invasion of their privacy, and they got into the text chat line and just said, here's an invasion of my privacy. And we loved that kind of standing up, showing up, and saying, here is how I'd like to draw a line. I'm not going to just disappear, but I want to open up my own challenging your way of being in this moment and say, hey, enough.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. So when it comes to the P, or presence, for a 5, it's really important to consider that wisdom and intelligence are different. There is a distinction between wisdom and intelligence. So in James 3:17, for instance, it says this. It says, wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere.
Wow, that's a lot of heart stuff going on.
Exactly,
there.
exactly. So wisdom is more full than just being in our head space. So 5s, we just so encourage you when you go through this stop practice to engage your whole self. There's so much amazing wisdom in you that we're all hoping that you'll share with us.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
beyond
that's
your
important.
beyond your intellect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I love what you're saying here, because wisdom is in flow,
Yeah.
at free and loving and open and welcoming all three centers: the IQ, the 5, the EQ, the 2, and the GQ, the 8. Saying, okay, I'm going to engage all three centers in flow in order to bring wisdom. So the 5s show us the wisdom and the face of God when they are in flow.
Yeah, I think the 5s bring us this understanding when they're really in flow, when they're really in a healthy space, a place of mercy, impartiality, and just giving us a sense of the heart of God in a deep way. So we love the 5s. We're so grateful for you, and we just encourage you in your journey and pray that you will live into your fullness. You're such a gift to all of us. So tomorrow, Doug and Adele are going to be bringing us the 6 stop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
So for our 5s, stop.
Yeah.
And open up to all that is you.
I want to see if I can sing better than Doug did a few videos or Facebook Lives ago. Stop in the name.
Yeah, we all need to stop.
I love it. Stop singing. Anyway, love you guys. See you soon.
Bye-bye.